I'm Drew Coles.
I'm Erin Coles.
And this is Met Player Monday. Today we're going to be talking about what classical music is, how it's typically used at weddings, and how our musicians perform it.
So, what is classical music anyway?
Most of the time when people are talking about classical music, they're referencing one of the big three early subgroups of euro-centric music that spanned from about 1600 to 1910. After that, things are considered modern and contemporary and don't share all of the same tonal elements that are typically indicative of those earlier styles.
So, we're just going to focus on the three classical styles we've seen performed most at weddings. And just a reminder, if you want to leave musical selection totally up to us, but understand that you do want classical music as a component of your wedding, we would be more than happy to take the reins on this and put together options that work with your vibe, relationship, and vision of your special day.
So the first of these sub-styles is Baroque, which is characterized by ornate passages. The harpsichord is used a lot in Baroque music, but piano does a really great job of covering this style well. Other string and wind instruments would also be found in this style, as well as the other sub-styles.
The second sub-style is called classical, which can be confusing because the overarching style name is classical.
But that's actually pretty indicative of the overall popularity and representation of this particular sub-style in the overarching genre. Much of the time, but not always, when people think of classical music, they're thinking of the work of Beethoven and Mozart, which falls within this period. These are works that have a lighter, clearer, and less complex texture than Baroque music.
The last of the sub-styles is music from the Romantic era, which lasted from about 1800 to 1910. And Romantic composers sought to create music that was emotional, dramatic, and often programmatic. So it's typically very colorful and compelling.
One piece that we hear and play all the time from this era is Clair de Lune by Claude Debussy. Though this piece straddles the line between the Impressionist and Romantic eras, it's distinctly different from the works of the previous eras.
Then, there's this interesting crossover portion of Euro-centric classical music that's made up of classical pieces that were used as church songs, arguably most famously Ode to Joy by Beethoven.
There are a ton of tunes in this middle space, and if you or your venue needs us to play something from this catalog, we can always make that happen. Another piece like this is Jesus' Love of Man's Desiring by Johann Sebastian Bach.
Now, moving on to instruments. Though you can make essentially any instrument play classical music, the instruments most often associated with classical music are piano, violin, and cello. After that would be classical acoustic guitar, harp, trumpet, and flute.
Again, you can make any instrumental combination play any genre, but these instruments are going to sound the most obviously classical. We put together string trios and quartets for our clients all the time. So perhaps one song in a wedding ceremony would be classical, and one pop, and then perhaps another song would be rock. You'd be surprised how flexible these groups can be.
And back to the classical pieces. Even though these are full pieces, we can still cater them to the specific portion of your wedding that they are being performed for.
So to give a very literal example, if a bride or groom is being escorted down the aisle to a particular song, we're going to make sure that the most memorable portion of that song is being played while that event is happening.
So, if you prefer classical music or would like a mix of classical and contemporary music, we can make that happen. We're happy to give suggestions on specific songs if you need them, and can also recommend the best instrumentation combinations for the music you'd like to hear or specific pieces you've chosen.
We hope this has been helpful, and remember, we're always here in case you have any questions or something want to run something by us. At the end of the day, we're here to support you in making musical memories.
Just do a... That's not the right sound.
Just make a oh yeah. That's not like that sound.
What was that? I knew that it was gonna be a beep, like a beep sound, and that's what came out of my mouth.
Example: if a bride or groom, my face. Yeah, well, frankly, you know.
Wait 1 second. But your things are usually like and it's like there's actually no break to do it. So then I like.
Well, the is the break. Again, you can make any instrumental. Sing a note with me. Oh, the same note.
Oh, I thought you.
There we go. I'll leave that one to you.
I was like, I don't think he's gonna.
The. I didn't put the V, and it's in big letters. It's in huge letters. I need to pay attention. I also wonder how I look. Oh, I look great. Perfect.
Great. Adios, amigos.